When Cristiano Ronaldo arrived in Lisbon from the small island of Madeira at the age of 12, his teammates at the academy laughed at his thick, rustic accent every time he spoke. He would call home every night in tears and say he wanted to go back. But one night, he stopped crying and made a promise to himself that would change the course of football history. Instead of fighting with his teammates, he would sneak out of the dormitory wall in the middle of the night to train in the dark gym. "They laugh at my words, but one day they'll have to beg to see me play," he said. He used being ridiculed as the cheapest and most powerful rocket fuel for his flight. Here are the lessons we can learn from this. 1. Weaknesses are not necessarily obstacles. Ronaldo's accent or poverty didn't stop him. Rather, it gave him constructive anger to prove himself. 2. Loneliness on the path. Great achievements are often made in the dark and when no one is watching. The best revenge is success. He didn't spend his time responding to sarcasm, but worked on himself so much that he no longer heard anything but applause. Watch this video until the end and share it with your friends. The life of one of the greatest inspirations in the history of sports began where no one would have imagined it would reach the success it has today. In 1985, on the small island of Madeira in Portugal, a poor family lived in a small house. The mother of the family, Maria Dolores, was a cook, and the father of the family was a municipal gardener. They had 3 children, and their financial situation was very difficult. But when Dolores became pregnant again, their financial situation was so bad that she considered having an abortion. But fate had something else in mind. God said no, and Cristiano Ronaldo Santos Aveiro was born on February 5, 1985. He was named after his father, Ronaldo Reagan's favorite actor, Ronaldo. Ronaldo loved football since he was a child and played with homemade balls in the streets of Madrid. His father was in charge of the equipment of a local club called Endorinas, and Cristiano played there from the age of 8. They had a difficult life. Poverty, family problems, and his father struggling with alcoholism. However, Cristiano decided to follow his big dream and become the best player in the world. Its talent was so brilliant that he joined Club Nacional at the age of 10, and then joined Sporting Lisbon's academy at the age of 12 for just £1,500. He lived alone in Lisbon, far from his family. He often cried from loneliness and missed his family, but he still didn't give up because he knew that returning home meant returning to poverty. So he stood up and fought to succeed. When he was 15 years old, he was out of breath while running. The doctor diagnosed him with tachycardia and needed surgery. This disease could have caused him to give up football forever. But he went into surgery with strength and resumed training just days after the operation, meaning no physical obstacle could stand in his way of steely determination. In 2002, at the age of 17, he made his professional debut and scored 2 goals. The whole world understood that a star was born, and no one could match him. He was very thin at the time, but he had good technique. Some coaches criticized him for being thin and said his body was weak, but instead of getting discouraged, he decided to become the hardest worker in the club, secretly going to the gym at night to build his body. She learned that failures are instructions for more practice, not a reason to stop, and she was able to turn her weakness into strength. In a friendly against Manchester United, he shone so brightly that United's legendary manager Sir Alex Ferguson said, "We have to buy this kid." And Ronaldo was transferred to United for £12 million, becoming the most expensive teenager in history. But life has its ups and downs. In 2005, when he was 20, he lost his father to alcoholism. But he continued with an iron will, because his mother was always by his side and gave him emotional support. Then he got engaged to Georgina, who came from a wealthy Spanish family. In Manchester, he went from being a dribbling boy to a goal-scoring machine. At first, they made fun of him and said he was showing off, but he really became a teenage goal-scorer. In 2008, after Manchester United won the European Cup in a dramatic game, the players were partying until dawn. When the team's convoy returned to England, all the players went home to rest. But one man went to the gym instead of bed. Cristiano Ronaldo, with his gold medal around his neck, began his individual training because he believed "The championship is over last night. I have to be ready for the next one." He won his first Ballon d'Or that year and became the Champions League champion, as well as the best player in the world. 3 Premier League titles, 1 Champions League, and becoming a United legend. Sir Alex said Ronaldo was like a son to me, but his determination was unmatched. He also broke the record in 2009 when he moved to Real Madrid for £80 million. This was where he reached his peak. Only with a steely will could he have reached this point. In his 9 years there, he became the record goal scorer in La Liga and the Champions League, scoring over 450 goals for Real Madrid. With Benzema and Bale, they formed the BBC trio. It was in 2018 that he told himself it was time for a change. So he had to move to Juventus, where he showed that at the age of 33, he was still the best. A few years later, he returned to Manchester United and continued to score goals. But things were not going well at the club. So he decided to move from there to Saudi Arabia. And since 2023, he has been playing for Saudi side Al Nassr, and even at the age of 40, he is scoring goals and breaking records. He holds the record for scoring over 950 official goals, over 1,000 international goals, and 5 Ballon d'Ors. He always tells this story about his father. One day, he and his father were walking down the street when they saw a big, beautiful villa. His father said, "I wish we had one like this." Ronaldo replied, "I promise you that I will be successful in life so that we can have one like this." Now that his father has passed away, he has bought such a mansion for his mother so that his father's wish will be fulfilled. He now lives in Saudi Arabia with his large family and is not only a successful player, but also a successful businessman. He always says that I started from nothing, but hard work and belief in myself brought me here. He also never drinks alcohol because his father lost his life due to drinking. He says dreams are not something you see in your dreams. They are something that keeps you awake. I didn't dream. I turned my goals into reality. Talent is important, but hard work changes everything. Practice every day and don't give up, even when everyone says you can't. He proved that you can rise from poverty and hardship to the top. If he could do it, so can you. Coaches still say he was the first one on the pitch at training and the last one off. Ronaldo proved that talent is nothing without effort. Watch this video until the end and share it with your friends.